Captain Will Fritz just told me that Ruby has said that he did it, that it was his gun, and that he had built up a tremendous grievance over the death of the president.
Is there any hint whatsoever of any type of collusion between Ruby and Oswald or any international plot whatsoever?
Mrs. Grant, Ruby's sister, has told me that she is positive that Ruby was not acquainted with Oswald and never has been acquainted with Oswald.
The two newspapers in Dallas today call upon the city's residents to be calm and prayerful despite the shocking violence that has numbed that city. If you're living in Dallas today, you know that something is happening here that is beyond human understanding. Dallas is a city undergoing the dark night of the soul, a city appealing to a higher power. A city, like a tree, must weather the winds of adversity to reach the heights of stature.
Mournful sounds being played by the kilted Highlanders, a group of perhaps 10 or 12 of them, moving by now. Playing the music that has led troops into battle and is now leading a commander-in-chief to his grave.
Down while trying to apprehend the assassin of President Kennedy were held this afternoon at the Beckley Hills Baptist Church in far South Oak Cliff. Patrolman Tippett is survived by his wife, 3 children, his mother, father, 4 brothers, and 2 sisters. The red brick church seats about 450 persons. Many unable to get seats stood outside. Patrolman Tippett's gray coffin was flanked by flowers of every type and description. 2 policemen stood in honor guard in front of the coffin. The walls of the church were lined with uniformed policemen. Outside, TV remote telecasting equipment and numerous engineers worked to telecast Patrolman Tippett's funeral to the nation. Patrolman Tippett will be buried at the Dallas Laurel Land Cemetery in a special area known as the Memorial Court of Honor. This area was established about 1 year ago for persons giving their lives for some special service of the community. Patrolman Tippett will be the first to be buried there.
Our Heavenly Father, in these moments, when we come with hearts that are...
Reverend C.D. Tips Jr., who officiated, said words were inadequate to express the sorrow felt by the family. In one prayer, he mentioned the Kennedy family and asked for special help in consoling them. He said the Patrolman Tippett was doing his duty when taken from us by, quote, a poor, confused, misguided, ungodly assassin, as was the President of the United States. Bob Thornton reporting for WFAA News.
There was a funeral of a very different sort today in nearby Fort Worth. A funeral conducted in semi-secrecy under heavy police guard and the watchful eye of numerous FBI and Secret Service men. This was the dreary funeral of Lee Harvey Oswald, alleged murderer of President Kennedy. Burial was in an otherwise empty plot in Rose Hill Cemetery outside Fort Worth. There have been some protests against his burial in this cemetery. No one was on hand for the funeral as mourners, except the family of the dead man. The 6 pallbearers you see here are newsmen. There were not enough relatives or friends on hand to serve as pallbearers. The public was not admitted to the ceremony, but there was not much indication that they wanted to attend.
The President of the United States.
All I have, I would have given gladly not to be standing here today. No words are sad enough to express our sense of loss. I profoundly hope that the tragedy and the torment of these terrible days will bind us together in new fellowship, making us one people in our hour of sorrow. so let us here highly resolve that John Fitzgerald Kennedy did not live or die in vain.
John F. Kennedy has been laid to rest.
Here comes Air Force One, the president's personal plane that took him to Dallas and returned him dead.
The foot of Elm Street is a kind of hallowed ground at the moment. Yes, this spot will forever cause a shudder to move through Dallas people, for this is where the young and vigorous 35th President of the United States, John F. Kennedy, met his tragic end. This is Walter Evans, WFAA News in Dallas.